Okay, boys and girls. Hi, I guess, to everybody. I'm I'm back for a bit. Well, decided to hop back into Greg Tech New Horizons, my Garden of Grind run. Is that what's it called, right? Garden of Grind. It's been a long time since I last streamed, and I've been kind of like having a bit of a holiday for myself from all this, and casually playing other games, and even including starting a new fresh run of just classic GTNH. But that kind of I started about a week ago, maybe even less, and I was able to climb up to a point where I'm at now in this run of Garden of Grind, and I realized that I don't know, I kind of feel like some kind of connection to this exact thing that I have here, from all the sweat and blood and tears that I've spent, that I've dropped trying to achieve all this, and by just flashing through all of that to get to for example, the perilous oven in the real world, in the classic GTNH world, was like a 6-day ordeal for me. So it wasn't much of a task for me. I could just do everything mine and kind of bring resources really fast. But the thing that I was doing here was just overall very special, and I realized that, I don't know, kind of achieving the same level of technical advancements feels warmer and better here in this exact realm of Garden of Grind. So that's why I decided to kind of like revisit and reimagine what it is like to be here. And right now I'm hopping from a chest to a chest, trying to collect words for all the people that have been watching me and suddenly realized that I just kind of fell off the wagon and stopped streaming. And do I say sorry to people if I ever stop doing things that I don't want to? To those who have subbed to me or spent any kind of money, and then got nothing because I stopped streaming, I could potentially say sorry, but I don't know whether I'll actually continue doing this run. But today we'll try to do something meaningful, as if I did want to continue the run. And but I guess the main hurdle for me is not actually playing the game, but instead recording the VODs and downloading the VODs into YouTube, because it has views, but it's nothing I wanted. It's probably because it's low quality, where I just you know upload a VOD without any kind of like editing or anything meaningful in this regard, and I feel like that's what it deserves. Like 1, 5, 10 views, that's what I do it for. But I am immensely glad that I still get those views even in lower amounts. So this last month I got like, double digits or something, which is totally cool. It means that somebody's interested in me. Maybe somebody's rewatching the old episodes where I was just like chilling and trying to figure out what to do. But I was just trying to fix up the chat because it fell off as well. I obviously updated the world. Now I'm on Minecraft 2. At GregTech New Horizons 2.8.4, if I remember correctly. Can I see the version here? Well, I could just show you, I guess. It's look, it says GTNH 2.4, 2.8.4, the latest update, and I redid all the configs. And actually, I was thinking, like, why do I always redo the configs every time? Like, retype them into and change the configurations of the files, which you need to do for this run, if the worlds have already been generated, For example, Overworld has already been generated. I don't need to kind of, like, change it. And Phantom Blade, hello. Hi, I... I don't really remember who Phantom Blade is. If you're a regular viewer that I don't remember, I'm sorry, but I've just started streaming again, like a 2-month rest. Or it was last time, December 11th, I think, was the last time or the 19th, the last time I kind of like visited this save. It said that on the date in the file system, and so it's been like a month or even more than a month of me not streaming. So yeah, it's actually exactly a month and 7 days and 8 days plus, or if my math is correct. Phantom Blade, hi. I do you even know what I do, like what this whole thing is. Obviously, it's Minecraft, but do you are you interested or are you familiar with what I'm playing? Because it's kind of like a special edition of Minecraft, which not everybody sort of knows. It's very special to say the least. Okay, what I do remember is that I still. Oh yeah, okay. I remember that you need to eat bacon that comes from rainbow cacti and mincemeat that you get from human flesh or similar sources. That's how you get almost full hunger bar. But I got an inventory that's actually just trashed with different kind of useless items. So I guess, and one thing that I don't like is that through all the migration that happened between the versions of 2.8.0 that I was at on, and this one is that I lost all my bookmarks, even though I specifically copied and pasted every goddamn thing they tell you to in a migration page within the GTNH website. I did everything. Still, I lost the progress of my bookmarking, which was actually a lot of useful things. It included recipes to all the circuits and everything, so I would know the ratios of materials that I would need to gather before I get to crafting those things. And now I am at a blank slate, I guess, with all this. So without further ado, let's get our first craft done, which is bacon. Epic bacon. It has many things. It has, I can even tell you, it has 67 pages of things on a medium GUI scale. Actually, it's the large GUI scale. Because, if you downscale or upscale the thing, you get less pages because the more things can fit into this, browser. But it's 67 pages, not including all the materials that you can get, like from iron, there are like a lot of materials, a lot of iron, a lot of different. Basically, this game is like a tech pack, which also includes magic. And if you're talking about a technology side of this mod pack, it can offer you up to almost a full periodic table of elements, almost a full. You really have to work with. You really have to make materials from, tools from, and different machinery from. Like for example, you start with digging flint, and you end up in some interdimensional, space dimensional craft kind of thing where you craft items from materials that are unknown to our humanity, that are purely sci-fi kind of territory, and in between all of that, there's like titanium, tungsten steel, which is like what's close to our world, what our world actually has, and it is very interesting. You should try it. It's called GregTech New Horizons. Oh, actually, I think I didn't even update the name of my stream, but let's leave it at that. I just don't want to bother this time. Actually, I also noticed that my friend, kind of like a colleague on Twitch called Axie, this guy's streaming GregTech New Horizons Garden of Grind as well with I guess a friend or something, and he's like there day 4 or something, the beginnings where they kill tickle the legs of skeletons in there, trying to farm up bunch of treasure bags that will get golden apples from. The beginning grind of this whole thing, which we have already passed a bunch of seasons ago, which was happening in this exact section, if you see that through the fog or through the clouds or whatever. And I rose to the top in here, but actually I know that Axie was playing single player Garden of Grind, and he went pretty far, so I'm not exactly sure why he has started a new run. I guess it was because he's with a friend now. like a dual stream or something. I'm not sure. So maybe if he hops by my stream one day, he can explain that to me if he likes to. But we're here with our own problems, trying to figure out what to do next. So I ate this little epic bacon thing, but I obviously don't feel saturated because it only kind of like... Well, I need to think of a way to get the hunger axe, because one thing that actually stopped me from hopping on the stream earlier on was the fact that I can't control hunger. I can't curb my hunger as I would do with a hunger axe in a classic GTNH run. So, without further blabbering, I guess the plan, the idea that I was trying to get behind was to fully automate this thing, the intake of logs into the peerless oven to get the MV sector going, because that's purely fueled by those 1, 2, 3, 4 advanced gas turbines. Those generate us about 4 amps. 1.5 amp or something goes to the oven, I guess, and the rest of that goes into this sector where I can just, do a lot of things. This is an MV sector in here, like an MV ramification of branching out, because, 3 machines, 2 of them are being chemical reactors and 1 is an electrolyzer, so an experienced GTNH player will know that at this exact stage this can only mean one thing, which is silicon refining, silicon crafting, auto crafting, and it's not just a silicon, this is a silicon solar grade poly-Si dust. So, I did get the solar panel, didn't I? Let me, I guess I didn't. But the fact that I have everything gathered says that I did. Oh, I guess I really did that. This is a 1 volt solar panel that just gives you 1 volt if you place it on top of things. And I think I was trying to test whether this thing works by putting it on top of a crop manager that's on the roof of this base of mine. Look, there's a little setup that kind of has bonsai logs in there. And I do have this solar panel. It's on top of a crop manager, which is a GT GregTech block, a machine. Which means that theoretically this must work. But what I don't get is the fact that it gathered the spruce logs and spruce saplings, but it did not actually transfer them through the pipe. What does that mean? Do I even have the... I think it's supposed to do that. No? I think it doesn't have the auto output. Thus, we need to get the... what do you call this thing? Conveyor module, right? Conveyor module. Let's search for it in hopes that I do have a conveyor module somewhere. Or it's not a module, it's a cover, actually. I messed up all the words. It's gonna be a long time before I remember everything again. Actually, I did have a little practice before continuing this run, as I said. So I should know everything up to this point, at the very least. For some reason, these 2 things were stacked. Also, that should be here. Oh, I don't remember anything. Oh my god. I remember I was doing things very quickly at these 3 tables. But now I'm kind of like trying to remember things. Oh yeah, I do have the... So are we fine with conveyor module LV? One stack every 20 seconds? I guess we are. I don't know why I didn't do that before. So this barrel is for apples and this one is for... Oh, what apples are we talking about? Since it's spruce logs, spruce doesn't have apples, right? Well, maybe fir cones or whatever will actually be dropping. I just need to make sure that I cover all the outputs and not just the oak logs themselves or spruce logs. This is what I do, and I place it to export, right? So we'll wait 20 seconds and see if that clears itself out. I also remember that I was dealing with... So I think I'll get the aluminum dust. Yeah, it did clear. It got the... Yes, it did transfer everything. And probably this thing is working now. It should go green. It didn't go green. For some reason it stays... Is it because the recipe requires more logs? I can't even look... Oh yeah, it started because it gave more. So this should be running constantly, and it self feeds. So this exact generator, it feeds back the electricity you produce into these two hatches, which should be LV1s, yes, and they kind of like cycle up in here. So, and the rest of these, like 3 of these, they fully saturate the ABF and with just 1 amp, I guess. Or actually, yeah, with 1 amp. And the rest of the amps, like 2 more amps, they go into these machines right here. So from the looks of it, I'm pretty well off with what I have. I kind of like have this this foundation to start something great. And something great. Oh yeah, the best thing that I have is an MV extruder. Just look at that baby. It has all the all the items in there. All the shapes and everything. So this is a huge help for me. But one thing I don't like is that it can't do the freaking screws. I mean, like, you need lathe for that, or at least you can kind of like go in a... Do I have a... Maybe I have like a fluid solidifier MV where I could do that, because I don't think I have one. It's not even... So I should get that, because if I want fast screws from all the materials that I'm gonna get, like aluminum or bronze, I should probably get this fluid solidifier, because it won't work with the bronze. The LV1, it's not gonna work. Okay. Aluminum dust. I don't know why my EPF doesn't work. This should go like that. Also, I'm pretty sad that I still use compressor, steam compressor. I know I kind of like... It has the same speed as an LV1, the one that's updated, the upgraded version, the black one. It's the same speed as the LV1. I just don't like the fact that it is not an electric one. Also, I have dealt, haven't I, with cabling, and now I've got... No, I didn't do that. I thought I did the cabling to lossless ones. the red alloy, redstone alloy material. That's the lossless LV cable. So, I think I'm... Oh, 202 actually. That's a lot. That's a lot of aluminum ingots. Wow. What am I waiting for, I guess? Wow. Well, there are some shortages in silver, which I mainly used for... I don't know. And... This is a lot, but... I have no steel. Literally no steel. Oh, I'm typing steel like verb. Should probably press T right now. No steel for us, and I remember the steel strategy is a bit different from what I should... So we need to get iron, and then... There's that thing, which are my fields, beloved fields of iron, and it's aluminum actually. I should probably deal with that as well. And to move faster, I should probably think about getting myself some boots. Oh my god. And I don't have claimed chunks enabled. Wow, that's actually not good. So I will need to be... probably it doesn't matter for now, because I have... I'm running around that area in my base. So if I start setting this up right now, it's probably gonna end up badly, you know? Because I'll be like trying to figure out how to do ranks again and everything. I could just copy and paste the configs of that. Okay, I'll do that the next time. So today we're just kind of figuring out what to do next. It's not going to be a long stream for me. All I want is get all the aluminum in there, so that the fields keep moving, keep producing, not being backed up by the volume of this oak drawer. And I remember dealing with shards, with the magical shards. I don't have them, and the only way to get them is through patches, of course. And I already got one. It's like kind of like residing in the corner right there, with its inventory filled up so that it doesn't despawn. But obviously, I should worry about getting the one that actually gives me the shards, because this patch is Forager 1, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not fun to have Forager 1 when you need shards. Yeah, we used to be a fan. We used to be fans of Patch Forager, but now it kind of like not what we need. One thing I'm not sure is how often should I clean this solar panel, because it says I need a water bucket to do that. It doesn't show the amount of electricity that I need and that I have. I think I had just had the farmland. No, it's not the farmland. What do you call this thing? It's made in a basic assembly machine. It's with the seed oil and sand and dirt. What do you call this thing? Farmland. No, it's not farmland. Millie763. You're too beautiful to be a real person, so I'll ban you. I'm sorry, I do not allow bots in my chat. I'm an automatic moderator in my chat because I can't figure out how to do that with chat bots or whatever. It took me like 20 minutes to figure out how to take back. Oh yeah, here I got this garden soil. Well, not the farmland, but the garden soil. It's basically synonyms. So, and I need the crops and perhaps even oak saplings. Oh, not the oak, spruce saplings. I think I got them from a garden bag, and the only way for me to get them again is probably waiting for one to drop and get into one of these chests, and I already got them. So I should probably block both of them to two saplings if I only get those. Good. And can I? Yes, nice. And I think it's the only output, so I'll block saplings here as well and take them out. And right now farm is really slow. It's probably because it has only like so many saplings planted. At least 2 layers of that, preferably in a wider range, would actually be somewhat. You know what I should have done? I should have probably watched the last episode where I explicitly state what I need to do next, because I'm a bit at a loss right now with the things that I have to do. Okay, we will plant the rest as soon as we get it. But this was one of our projects that I was working on, and I do know that I need a lot more garden soil. But now I have fully planted the first layer of that, and I even have 1 spruce sapling left. I could theoretically, you know, like macerate a bunch of bone meal to get macerate a bunch of bones to get the bone meal and manually get the saplings. Also remember I was dealing with some manual crafting within this crucible where I was like going for steel, and oh my god, I don't remember the recipes. Oh, I guess for steel you needed an order aspect, which you get from this kind of fancy chiseled stone brick. Let's go fetch some stone bricks. Those we do find in a rock breaker. And you turn all that, chisel all that with this thing, and turn it into. So every chiseled stone actually. Oh my god, that was scary. I need to get a new chisel now. So I would do the obsidian one, but I don't remember if obsidian is acquired that easily. 2 sticks to iron plates. Let's just borrow that for a second. 2 sticks. Where do I get sticks? Oh, here we got this. Hoi hoi, Lisa here one. Hi Lisa. How are you? Are you a fellow Minecraft player? I hope you are, but because my content is purely Minecraft-ish, and I play in a somewhat convoluted version of Minecraft. Hope you're familiar with that, if you're here. Chilling, can't complain. How about me? I'm also chilling. Just, well, okay. Just kind of chilling and trying to figure out what I was doing before I stopped streaming for a month. So I kind of came back to this whole mess of content that I don't remember what to do about. You know, there's a lot of machines and everything because it's a modded Minecraft, and now I'm kind of like puzzle this thing back in my head. So there is a challenge for sure. So yeah, my first thing to do is to probably... So as far as I remember, I just chuck this into the water, even 2 stacks would be fine, and then... I wouldn't say it's a competition, because guess what, it's also Minecraft. It's basically inside Minecraft you get this mod. Have I heard of the... Yeah, Hightail. I just heard about it from kids, and they say that's like a killer of Minecraft. Do you agree with that? Because I looked around and I kind of like spied on their website for a bit. I sat there and read about this Hightail thing, and to me it seemed that it's not just a killer of Minecraft. I actually don't believe that. I think it's a 3D Terraria if you try to compare those. Because it has more enemies, more like the aspect of getting new gear and everything. But I didn't play it, so I don't have the expertise to actually say things out loud right now. But guess what? It's my stream and my opinion. So I can say whatever I want, right? And I would say it's a 3D Terraria because I agree with some people that say that it is a 3D Terraria. Actually, which also has gotten a new update just about 24 hours ago, I think. 1.4.5, where they added a lot of cool things. I'm actually also a fan of Terraria. And I would probably never stream that, but because it's a kind of a different kind of game, I get very mad when I play it because I can't defeat bosses really easily. For me, it gets like to the table smashing kind of session for me whenever I play Terraria. Even though I like to play on an expert or a master difficulty, where, you know, like a flying turtle kills you with one blow, just by touching you. Yeah, I usually play Minecraft. I actually have already more than 50 episodes of playing this mod pack on YouTube. I'm not like advertising or anything, just saying that I spent a lot of time playing it, and off stream I also played like 2 years of this exact mod pack, and I'm a fan of that, definitely. It's probably one of the only games I've streamed. There are some other games, like I used to play Hitman a lot. It's kind of also a fun game, but it has this linear kind of like feel to it, which doesn't make it as good as Minecraft is, because you can always do fun stuff with it. You're gonna get creative in this situation, and that's what I do, yeah. Even though this exact rendition of Minecraft is very repetitive at times. You have to do a lot of unpleasant things, like standing AFK trying to grind some things that aren't easily obtainable, and there's also some charm to that, but mostly it's very taxing on a person that watches it. So usually people that have watched me, they would turn on my stream and they would just kind of like alt-tab from it and play their own game of the same game, you know, same Minecraft, and usually just hear me say things over what I do, and that's how we roll. There's not a lot of people that actually watch what I do here because they either understand that by the things I'm saying, or I think I could just, you know, instead of running the real stream with real footage or anything, I could just say things, you know, like an audio format, and it would be as engaging as it is now while I'm showing you all this. I have this feeling, but anyway, I had a trouble of recording all of this, and even putting it all out on YouTube, which is also a huge deal for me. Not like I'm trying to reach some stardom in there. Kind of want to record the progress, you know? Like some people would record themselves getting thinner, you know, kind of like losing weight, journey of weight loss. I don't know. In my case, I record the journey of sanity loss because this game is crazy. What I do, I just kind of like bathe different materials in a crucible just to get the new material. It's called alchemy, I guess. Even though that should be automated, I should not stand here and do that kind of thing. I still do it manually because I'm not very smart in terms of automating everything. I'm not a software developer because mostly those kind of guys can actually do that. No, don't you think don't you think so? Because, you know, I'm just a dude. How's it going for me? What going? You mean life? You barely know me. You already want to know how's the life going for me. You know, life is life. I can't say the specifics because, well, I don't really know you. But I would say that I'm fine. I got some, you know, the usual things that people have, you know. Well, I can tell you that I've recently finished watching Stranger Things because now it's a very popular thing, and if you know what I'm talking about, we could connect on that. I could say that my life has been very enriched by the last season of that exact TV show, and well, I feel like I've watched another rendition of Harry Potter again. Like it evoked the same feelings in me, sort of, but in a more compacted way, I would say. Yeah, you know, over time, I like actually. I'm saying like I'm not gonna say any personal things, but you know, I'm the kind of guy who likes to overshare for people that at least know me a little bit. So I would sometimes say things on my stream that you're not supposed to say when you stream, like where I work, what I do for a living. You know, sometimes I would just spill that out and for people to pick it apart or whatever, and they don't ask for that usually. Usually I do that myself. I'm a professional yapper. I wouldn't say that. Do I actually yap right now? Am I actually yapping? I think I talk a lot. There are no viewers but you, so I kind of like feel a bit bored, so I just say things. Sorry if that bothers you. You can mute me if you want to watch the thing. There are always options, you know. But usually, you know, usually I'm more tired than today, and I usually stream saying less words, especially when I know what to do here. Right now, I'm kind of like trying to think of things to do and just talking. And besides, I heard some pieces of advice like people that watch streams, the viewers, yeah, they don't watch streams because you play a game. They watch you talk over a game, you know. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about. That's a good thing for a person who's streaming, yeah. But I'm not sure if I'm pleasant enough for that because, you know, perception of people is different. How they see you. One person is like, oh, this dude is fine. The other one's like, oh, shut up, right? I don't know what people perceive me. But I guess if you don't do that, you'll never know, right? So, can you talk about yourself a little, like where you're from, or maybe, well, that's actually also a personal question, but I can tell you that where I'm from because people ask me that thing a lot. Because as obvious as it is, I think you know that I'm not the you know, not from the English-speaking country based on how I say things. You probably have picked it up already. This kind of clue about me. It's not a secret. I've talked a lot about this. Usually, I let people guess where I'm from. Well, I'm not from there. I kind of like try to sound. Yeah, I'm from Russia, kind of like polar opposite of of USA, and well, this is what you need to know about me. I'm not sure how that affects the perception of me from people. Well, up to this day, nobody said anything to me that I'm like somebody else since I'm from Russia, and that's I'm kind of glad that it doesn't have any kind of bearing. Oh, because I specifically try to upgrade it every time I speak. It's kind of like my intention. I'm like an English teacher. That's my actual work and actual job in the real world. So I teach kids English, and I try to be as close as I can be. I know it's not possible for people of my plight, I would say, because you can never get true enough, unless you're actually born in there. But who knows? There's a journey, and I'm really interested in getting as close as possible. So these streams, in some way, are also practice for me, kind of like killing both things at the same time. What they say in my language. So yeah. And you're from USA, and do you stream? I didn't actually check your profile. Maybe you're also a streamer. But I'm gonna tell you, based on your nickname, because there are a lot of bots, if you know about on Twitch, if you've followed and viewed others, there are a lot of bots that call themselves very female-like names, like Lisa or any other names. Not to say that your name is a bot name or whatever. They just call themselves like female names, and they put a very pretty girl on their profile picture, and they basically start talking to you, like asking you questions, and then you kind of fall into this trap, and then at the end of the day, which basically lasts about 5 minutes, they start asking you about whether you want a new profile pic or something, like they're designers. And this is the usual trap which I've fallen for many a time. And I'm afraid that you might be the same person, the same, not like a bot, but a guy that tries to sell stuff. So, but we've had a good conversation already. So even if you are a guy that's supposed to ask me for some kind of services at the end, I would still say thank you, because you kind of like had a conversation with me, which actually seemed real, So even if you are somebody I don't want you to be, you already made an effort to be at least like humane with me, if you understand what I'm saying. Because these guys, they usually like start talking to you, and then after some time they go like straight to business, and you feel like, oh my god, not again. Am I that not interesting to you, But you seem legit. So I'm gonna go pick up more chiseled stone. Actually, not pick up, make more chiseled stone. I need to free up my inventory. I'm so tired of running around with copper cables, copper wires that I don't even know how to use and where to use. I'm like so far behind understanding what all these things are, so I'm just gonna kind of put it there and forget about them. Like, what the hell is that? The steel ingots. I would gladly do that right now. Put that in a bender, because I know for sure that I'll use the bent versions of that. You see, I don't remember the form of the verb bend. Almost say bended. Go like this for garden soil. Yeah, I wanted to arrange some garden soil. For that I need seed oil. Oh, I don't have a lot. There's 148 millibuckets of seed oil. Less than enough. There's a good way of getting a lot of seed oil, which is peanuts. And I don't remember whether I actually got them from one of the garden bags. I know I remember that you get them from Ground Garden. This one is actually very rare in Minecraft, in GTNH New Horizons, in the classical version. Very rare. I was like running around fields, like I visited about 20 biomes or something. I didn't get one ground garden, and this one harbors peanut in it, with a chance of about 10% or maybe 15 that it falls out of there, because usually you get like 3 to 4 different foods from there. Peanut is one of them, and I don't have it. Considering that, oh, actually I had an obsidian chisel, could have used that. Considering the fact that I will be expanding, of course, and getting more farm fields and everything, I think it's only smart that I would get that peanut and have a little farmland with, like here, where I would grow that and harvest that whenever possible and throw that into a extractor so that it would make me a backlog of seed oil for all my garden soil needs. It's only smart. I was sad my viewer, the Liza viewer, she she kind of disappeared once I said that she might be the one trying to offer services. I guess she was kind enough for me to not do that, just to disappear and never to come back again. Didn't want to upset me after such a wholesome conversation. Probably a good move for her. I still don't know why these cacti are that dark. Okay. Seed oil. So I'll start by getting garden bags. I need to get to the my I like that it gets green more often now. These guys are full. I'm not actually. I should run something. Like even this one. Let it run. It's fine. It's not gonna blow up or anything. I should have let it run before I started doing all of the things I do. Actually, it says that I should leave my chunks loaded up at all times when it comes to chunk crossing. Otherwise, things are not gonna work. And I am sure that since I'm on this platform, all the chunks that I have in the sky and the upper layers of my base are going to be chunk loaded regardless of my position in here. Even if I would go to the farthest corner of that farm, I would still get this thing to be loaded, because as far as I remember, it works in a range of what I get my view on at, which is 12 chunks. So is this 12 chunks? Of course it is. It's like the whole range is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be good. But it's only in theory, because I'm not smart enough to actually know the truth. I only kind of like pretend I know. So yeah, I'm getting the boots for sure, because I'm so tired of jumping from one place to the other, like actually losing my hunger bar. So let's do that. We need 2 pistons, What? I have only one piston in the entire world? That's a bummer. One piston is not good. Oh, how not good this is. Oh yeah, and I've got another one. So I need to go like run around picking them up one by one. I would run twice as fast with these boots. I don't know why I didn't make them before. Am I stupid? Why didn't anybody advise me to do that? They were watching me suffer and kind of like let the dude continue to suffer. Okay, how do I do boots? I guess we start the craft with tan leather. I hope we have a bronze screw lying around somewhere because I don't want to handcraft the whole thing from the beginning. Yeah, I got that. A screwdriver. And 2 rubber sheets. Again, I'm scrambling to get that done. Look, one here, one here. I also need leather boots. What? I don't have leather? 210 leather here. Oh my god. Okay, if I remember correctly, this is just a survivor coin. And I do buy things with coins. Because I can. Alright? I don't remember the rules I play by. As far as I remember, since there's still a thing you have to buy in order to progress further, I kind of like let myself buy everything I can, like buying wires and everything. Because either way, this is gonna run dry sooner or later. So no big deal if I help myself a little by just buying a few things in there. Still, I need to craft a lot. As to the legitimacy of this run, I kind of like reviewed some mistakes of the past, I guess, when it comes to saves coming, because we did that, and it's okay to do that based on the rules of legit Garden of Grind run, even though there are a lot of rules to when it comes to Garden of Grind runs, and you can make up your own, and I kind of like I didn't want the hardcore run, and I didn't want the super easy run where I just cheat in items and run around with them, you know? I never cheated in anything without a purpose, you know? Like, there has to be like a legitimate justified purpose. Like, for example, I'll lose something out of my inventory, it gets lagged, bugged, or whatever, and it kind of like disappears. Then I cheat it in. But the most abusive way of me that I remember that I had here when it comes to that is save scumming in a compacted way, in a compact way. What do I mean by that? It's when you would get treasure bags, which you need in the beginning, to get the set of a golden apple and splash potion of weakness, right? You need to open about 25-30 bags actually to have enough RNGs to actually follow you, whatever, to help you get them both. You need about 30 bags, yes, and if you get 10 bags, you open them, you might not get the both items, but you might get both items. And I was crazy enough to first start safe scumming this thing to only realize that I could just instead open those 10 bags, see that the outcomes are not suitable for me, like I get nothing or get only one out of 2 items. So I would just, instead of reloading a backup, I simplified this for myself and kind of cheated in the kind of like open the bags, which I've earned legitimately. Like I would literally stand there and kill the thumbcraft mobs, and then I would just like delete that and get 10 bags again and try to open them. If I don't get the results, I delete all the results, delete all the outputs from the bags, cheat them again, open again, so it would just save some time. Another super crazy thing that I did, which was probably not even justified, Because in a legitimate GTNH run, which is actually viable for to get a role of Stargater at a official Discord channel, is that you can turn off mobs, the difficulty to peaceful only after EV tier, because it kind of saves FPS and everything. But since I was like very ardent on dealing with a lot of cobblestone spheres that were spawned by water drowned creepers, I kind of like realized that sometimes it's better to mine them if I don't have silverfish popping out every second cobblestone block. So I would just turn off the mob spawns by setting it on peaceful for that exact time segment, and then I would turn it back again. Or when I would need to build my farm and I don't need any mobs to spawn, or when I get stuck or my base is getting overfilled with mobs due to a faulty design of my mob farm. You know, there were times when I would have this mayhem in my base where I would just see my there used to be a huge spawner made out of wood, and there would be like mobs falling out of holes in there that are burning and crowding the entire area of my base, and I would just like stand near a chest that's about to blow up thinking like, oh my god, what do I do? I was like literally hiding behind the corner like that, looking out and seeing the mobs swarm in there, and I would think like, oh, this is the end of the run, I have to back up. Again, not to back up in these situations. I devised a plan where I just set it to peaceful, you know, and kind of like deal with the whole situation, patch the mob farm up, and then move back into the hard mode. So all of those things that I now consider cheating, well, not the worst case. I did all that just to save time, because I don't want my viewers to see that. I don't want them to see me struggling for the 100th time, you know, dealing with all this bullshit that I have already shown that I can deal with in the real time, you know. So these are my main acts of sin, I guess, considering the legitimacy of this run. Yeah. So if the viewers that are about to evaluate me later, if I ever finish the run, they should probably see that exact clip from Twitch. But nobody's gonna clip me because there's no viewers now. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to say regarding legitimacy. So I guess we should craft boots now. I have everything. Oh no, I don't. I need to craft the boots. Leather boots. And this one. Oh my god, I could have done that so... What? I thought they changed speed. Actually, they didn't. Or they did. How do I measure speed? Speed of movement. No, I can't. Whatever. At the very least, I don't have to lose hunger over jumps now. I can just walk around things, you know, like that, and it doesn't do much to my hunger bar. That is a very positive thing that I did today. What else is here to address? I like the fact that I'm smelting aluminum right now, that I didn't forget to set it up. Also, I wanted to start getting the maglev. Oh, now I remember why I wanted the patch that sells me shards. This is because of the fact that in order to get mag levitation belt or whatever to fly around your base, you need a freaking maglev harness. And you kind of have all of that, including the mundane belt, but the air crystal plate requires you to have 9 air shards in order to craft a block of air, which you then cut into 9 air crystal plates. And I don't have those shards. It's just that I am so poor I don't have a single shard of them, I think. And my idea, my resolution to that regarding that thing was to actually fish out a patch from out of one of those prison cells. They're singular, which means most won't interact with each other, won't blow this shit up. And I'm not hearing a single one of them. So, another legitimacy, what do you call this thing, like, compromise, whatever. Another thing with which I compromise the legitimacy of this run is the fact that if I don't get the spawns that I need, I just, instead of emptying these cells myself, I simply do that, which also saves time. Would you consider that cheating? I don't know. I can kill all the mobs pretty easily, but I just don't want to deal with that because I have other things to do. So that's the kind of rule I play by. I am able to manipulate peaceful into hard mode, but not since the start of the game. Because at the start of the game, I was experiencing the whole array of emotions from mobs running around after me. I didn't do anything to avoid that, but now as I'm further into the game, I feel like this has become such an issue that I just don't want to deal with it. Also, there is a lot of experience that I'm collecting through this little contraption right here. And that's fine. There are golden apples and everything. Regarding my steel, I have brought a few chisel blocks. I should probably get more. At least fill them up in there. Nightglove harness. I just want to experience flight, you know? But no. There is an air shard in there. Just one. So if it's the only way to get shards, I am very, very deeply sorry for myself. Also, I know that I don't open loot bags, and I don't really use them like that. I just store them in a place I can call a loot bag chest, which actually has a lot of crap in it. So this is fully sustainable. I don't lose a single bit of benzene from any of those. It actually only goes up. I got myself 10 more saplings I can plant. I should probably wait for some more. And I still want to check whether I got the electricity coming and going in here. Because this thing says it needs washing. How do I know that? How do I know that you don't have electricity right now? Solar panel doesn't say anything. I mean, if you really implement that kind of use of solar panels when you put them on top of things, you might as well just have a menu here that says that there's like a, you know, degree of dirtiness in there. You know, you don't get anything. You can get like a blank window. Of course, I'm nobody to order things like that. And if I wanted to, I would have to, you know, like visit the GitHub, and I can't even comprehend what they do there. They're like open some kind of strings or something, like threads or something, where they just basically say that, okay, there's a solar panel, the 1 volt version, and you guys have to make sure that it shows how dirty it is before you need to clean it up. Or maybe you don't need to clean it up because I'm not that well versed in that. I don't remember whether you need to clean it up or not. Just don't remember. I don't know that. I might as well just Google that on Discord or something. There's also 2 more sticky pistons. Yeah, no, I remember wanting to start to get the garden, the farmer coins to get the garden bags to fish out of peanuts. So I understand that without peanuts, there will be nothing. Oh, I got the ground garden. And maybe the best idea would be to actually break it or make it grow. I have more chances of getting peanuts if I make them spread into like 6 or 7 or 8, but it's gonna take me like another 10 hours at least. And I need to have more than just one little patch of ground of dirt. And dirt is a problem, as far as I remember. It's a huge problem. Because if I do that and press T, There's one dirt. The entire base. Ah, I am poor. How can one be poor and not poor at the same time? I have this huge urge to break it and get a peanut from it. Yeah, you would say that you could manipulate that RNG the same way, you know? But I have so many Farmer 1 coins that I can just do that in a row, you know, every, what, 20 minutes or something? Get the cooldown on that thing, yeah, 20 minutes. So, but I need peanuts right now. If I don't get them, or I can just cheat that in until I get the right one. I got the peanuts! You know, luck is on our side today. Rutabaga. Beat. Guys, do you want to hear a beat? Do you like that? That's a beat. One of the worst jokes I've ever made. And no one to laugh at it. I guess I shouldn't have left for a month. That's why I had no viewers. I wonder where some of my viewers at. Do they still kind of like sit on Twitch, do stuff, or have they moved on like I almost did? Never know. We'll see, maybe I'll get the new ones. But I believe overall, GTNH becomes more popular with new versions. So there is an influx of streamers, an influx of players, an influx of viewers that don't like to play alone and they actually watch Twitch channels. And some of that traffic would chip off and get into my stream, which would be very, very pleasant for me. But I would say that I don't really like a lot of people on my stream because I think like there's pressure to talk a lot and not really do things. Today I'm talking a lot because it's been a month since I actually streamed and kind of like renewal of all those emotions that I've experienced. And I don't see a what do you call this thing? Like a watering can? Please don't tell me that you can craft it, right? Definitely can. Where's my watering can? Probably right there. Oh, if I don't have my watering can right now, I'm just gonna cheat one in. 'Cause I should have one. Well, where am I? Where? It's very strange. I'm not hearing any. I'm not hearing any dude sounds of a patch that I need to get. Jesus, man. Oh, I think I should have been pressing T on a non-empty watering can. It would have found it, I think. Still no. I mean, I shouldn't have thrown it away or anything. It's just it's a thing for us, you know, one of the most important things in a run, especially in the early stages of every run. just gonna cheat it back in. Or, as I call it, red wrench it, because you get the red wrench and kind of just do that. Yeah, I think I just deleted that with the rest of the items. I don't see it here, it's supposed to be here. Also, another thing that I've learned over the years, actually, over the last week, is that you can get an infinite iron lumber axe without much of a hassle. It's not a big deal or anything. You just need these reinforced tool modifiers, 10 in amount of 10. Maybe even less, considering you can get the obsidian rod for your tool, and then that adds you the kind of like a modifier of reinforced 2. And you need to get reinforced 10 in order to achieve full what do you call that? Immortality of a tool. Sorry for my English. Full unbreakable. It says unbreakable X, which is like. No, I mean it's a mystery where I got my through my. I could craft it, right? Watering can. Let's see. Yeah, for sure. I crafted that. I think you should watch my previous episodes to see where I last had it, because it's usually always in my inventory. I just want to unravel the mystery right here a bit. So I go to my tube. I'm not going to show you that. I don't show my screen. So I'm just be alt-tabbing a little. Let me see. Let me see. Last video, more in the machines. This one is called the same way. Episode 54. Let's watch that. Oh my god, I even said in the same clothes. Maybe I'll learn what I needed to do last time. The watering can was already not in my inventory. Yeah, I lost it along the way. So I just got the new one. As I said, when I lose items, I just... Oh, what are we doing? This is our best way of getting that done. All we need is a bunch of bones from our bone factory. Bone factory, I said. Yeah. A good way to craft the bone meal is to just place it in one of those stencil part builder things and try to get that. You need to shift your mouse quickly like that. This way you can craft it faster, because you craft the half of the resource of a bone goes to a bone tool rod, and the other half is just like the residual dust, which is a bone meal itself. So you don't need to waste any kind of like macerator time slash mortar, you know, the durability of a mortar, which is like not really cool. Even a steel mortar, which uses 2 steel, is actually very, very flimsy. Only like what, 2 stacks of use? Yeah, I guess it's like 2 stacks of use. These things you can just kind of like trash can, and the rest is useful. So I'll probably get about 3 stacks of peanuts out of that enterprise with bone meal. That should last us enough. I should probably already chuck this into my flute extractor, because I didn't get the second one, the MV one, so I'll do it like that. And you see how many seed oil that is? So this only requires 5. I'll be very rich by just running with that amount. I don't think I need more. I'll plant the rest. Let them be. I want to plant them evenly. So I would count 10, because it's not 10. But we'll see, maybe I'm right. No. I'll leave 1 to be the barley. Tuck away the remainders of bone meal. And throw the rest of the peanuts into the fluid solidifier. Oh, actually, fluid extractor, I'm sorry. And then, the main problem is dirt. There are a bunch of ways to make dirt, but I remember relying on one exact recipe, which is rotten flesh plus sand, which I can get freely from just putting things in a steam forge hammer, which I can also braid with little to no effort. Oh, Axie, wow. Thank God you're here. Yeah, long vacation. I explained it in the exact same words. It was a long vacation, but I wasn't sure. I was hilarious. Thank you. Didn't you just? I hope nobody raided me, because I'm not really, not really. Oh my God, no, nobody raided me. Okay, so yeah, a long vacation, which I didn't think was gonna be a vacation. I kind of like just stopped playing, stopped wanting to play that exact thing. But then I gravitated toward after like I think I was absent for a month or so, and just recently, like a week ago, I started thinking about starting a new run of Greg Tech, and I did start that run, and it lasted up until MV, where I am now in Garden of Grind, and I realized that the connection that I have here to all my machines and everything that I've got is actually a lot fuller than the one I have in this run that I have now, the classic run. So I decided to kind of continue this one, but I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. I'm just like running around trying to remember what I did. But for now I'm here, and kind of like maybe I'll stream once a week, or maybe even... Because I do feel like I have potential to do something here, but sometimes I just burn out, like it happened to me again like a month ago. And I was going for a holiday, like in had to visit some other city. And I wasn't able to get to my PC for like 2 weeks, and then I kind of like fell off the wagon, you know. So now I'm kind of back, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. But now I play. So actually, enough about me. I saw you started a new run of Garden of Grind with a. Is that your friend, or just a buddy, or a collaborator with which you stream? And what was your decision based on? Did you finish your previous GOG run? Because I believe that in a month that I was absent, you could have probably done it, considering the speed with which you were going. What happened? Do you still play your run? Or maybe, I believe you're probably already... I happened to die on hardcore. The last run we talked about, right? Where you started after you died from bees, right? Or was there any other run in between those? I'm just kind of interested a bit. Shiny Bucket wanted to start GOG, and I happened to be free. I died once after Bee Explosion. Okay, I got it. How far did you go before you died in that previous run of yours? And of course I need the details of your death to gloat over. Same as Bee Explosion. You mean like a Bee Explosion number 2? Or is that as stupid and as unpredictable as it was with a Bee Explosion? Which I believe is an unpredictable thing, even though considered you can actually read it in the description of a bee that says it's an explosive trait. Yeah, you wouldn't guess that it's gonna kill you like in a dive warp effect this time. Which one? Let me guess. Can I guess? You got too much warp, and you died because you were AFKing while the obsidian block suffocated you. Is this the one you died from? Because that would be the funniest thing ever. Okay. Because there is a thing like that, as far as I remember. One time I almost died to it, but not in a hardcore world. I don't remember any other dangerous effects, but maybe creeper spawning. But you need to get quite high in order for a legit creeper to spawn, not the decoy one that just blows up like this one without ever touching or damaging you. So you need to enlighten me on that. Okay, I'll try to dead RAP. I'm gonna gloat over that so hard. Sorry, man. Okay, wait a second. You got yourself. Let me guess the tier from based on the first few seconds. You got pretty far into the Thaumcraft. I can see a naked dude running around you. Who the hell is that? Anyway, maybe you played with a friend again. But well, I can't really say anything based on Thaumcraft, but you do have a lot of jars and everything. You got a. I can tell you the tier based on your tools. I see. Oh no, you have different resource pack, which means that they don't look the same as they do. Well, considering that the axe is just a simple one, I would guess you're MV mid HV something. That's something. Okay, let's see the death. You got the maglev, which is MV, in your backpack. Also, you got the unbreakable tools, which I've also learned to do actually. Aluminum wrench. Basing this on MV, probably. I think it's MV. Should be MV. Bronze hammer. Yeah. You try to kill. Oh, it's a doppelganger with a return damage trait. That was the naked dude that killed you. Solarius. Basically accidentally suicide. Am I right? This is the. I know the doppelgangers. I remember that they. Oh, your skin was also naked because my doppelganger looked like Steve, you know, because I'm just a Steve, you know. That's what I remember, but I don't remember dying from them. I remember it was returning damage, but not in a that great amount. So I guess you had a very killer crossbow, and that kind of like killed you, right? How much armor did you wear with you? Full set of armor, all the bars are filled. Still died. I wonder what that crossbow was, because that's a lot of damage. Might have been magnified by something. I mean amplified. My god. Really? Really? And that's a new way to die. Man. I would say I'm speechless, but you never know. Speechless me, I always say things. I think this death. I mean, first of all, I have to congratulate you and say thank you for discovering new ways of dying. That's just drama on its own, you know. Like it's such a valuable thing for some people. Can you imagine being a billionaire and like living your life and feeling like you've tried everything? I guess this exact death would be a new feeling that would cost more than $1 million for a billionaire, you know? Something like that. Experience that kind of thing because you invested so much time in it and died from a thing I mean, I don't know. Well, and after that you started a GOG run with what was that dude's name? I can see it in chat. Dude's name, Shiny Bucket or something. Yeah, Shiny Bucket. And I was gonna ask you about your previous GOG run, which you played on a single player. Did you kind of feel tired, or how far did you go in that month I was absent? Because I'm really interested to see. Maybe you've like dropped it as well. I wanted to know that. But I'm sure you with your friend will kind of catch up with me real soon again. I'm not in a competition anyway. You did make first an HV machine, and then what kind of feeling washed over you so that you felt like you would rather play a multiplayer one? Is it the loneliness? Is it the fact that you couldn't share your progress with anyone? Maybe IRL kind of made you reconsider some things? The new GOG is just that I needed something new to play on your stream, right? And I would like to ask you the statistics, well, in a very rounded up way. What do your viewers feel like? What do they think when you play Garden of Grind instead of your usual hardcore run? Do you get more traction from that? Do you feel like people rediscover the game with you when you're dipped into that madness of what they didn't even expect? They thought like hardcore Axie's like the top, the pinnacle of everything. You know, like it can be even. Yeah, okay, I get it. But did they appreciate the fact that you started a new run and it was like not the hardcore Minecraft again? Because probably most of them stayed with you because you were offering that kind of experience. Did it happen to switch? Mm-hmm. I think you will do hardcore. It's kind of your trait, but it's interesting to see that you started this thing. I was gonna see. I suppose I kind of saw that you might start one run of GOG. I would see that in your stream. I mean, like I would imagine that it would be a thing for you to do because you like challenges and you tackle them very well, as I have, as I recall, considering that you started later than me, and you was able to, you know, kind of. What do you say when you move faster than somebody? I forgot the word. Take over, no, overtake. Not sure. It's about the cars, I guess. Outrun me, yeah. You were able to outrun me. Yeah, I saw you guys tickling the feet of skeletons when I entered the stream for a few seconds. I was like, oh my god. You're the literal, yeah, episode 5. You're the literal definition of here we go again. Like from GTA San Andreas CJ quote, you know, the meme. Ah, shit, here we go again. I'll try my best to replicate the accent, which I can't. Some of a different complexity and everything. You're the literal god of that phrase. Do you have a bicycle yet? Did you reach your bicycle to start riding toward the rider icon? Start the first mission of getting to a Pizza Hut or whatever, Clock and Bell to get your hair cut, and then you know how it starts. Just a joke. I was talking, I forgot what I was doing. I kind of like automated benzene for now, if you're interested, since the last episode. Meanwhile, 600 hours in, and I'm still like mid-EV. Oh, that's a great result, no? I mean, considering the fact that there's like an explosion within the GTNH world, which is a new speedrun, multiplayer speedrun of Great Tech New Horizons. Have you seen that, guys? Have you seen that thing? It's mind-blowing. I started watching the whole live stream. There's like what? I don't remember how many live streams are there, but the first one goes for 11 hours straight. And I started watching it, and I kind of wanted to see the prep as well, like the way they discussed what they were going to do with it. I could talk for hours about the things that they might have thought about and might have planned ahead, and I was going to watch that to kind of like have a lot more experience with my runs. But I realized that I'll have to watch every second of that in order to pick up every smart things that they did. But I was really impressed that they got with it to the A8 AE2 within the first 20 hours, I think. No, and that overall it took them 22 days of gameplay, if I'm not mistaken, to actually finish the run and get the Stargates. It's wow. And it makes you think about a lot. Actually, also I heard the voice of average Cryptic player, whom whom I criticized a little for having a video out on YouTube that he says like the if you start your Greg Tech New Horizons journey, you should watch my video where I compacted everything into a 10-minute video. I kind of criticized him for that a bit, but I gotta say the dude has a very kind of like soothing voice, and I can watch like literally listen to him for hours for some reason. He says he's Italian under the description, and it's like wow, the dude should probably shoot videos with him saying things. It's like I think it's like a super great addition to his videos if it talks over things, because I don't as far as I remember he has like a silent videos or maybe with videos with voice changed to Google dude speaking instead of the real person. So if he ever sees my bits of streams, he might consider that a compliment because it is. But anyway, I realistically will be in AV for at least another 100 hours. It's fine, you know. You got good timings, and I'm no one to judge your timings, but I think 600 hours is great timings. I think I was at about the same because I was kind of like trying to play on my own, in my own way, relying solely on solar panels up to LUV, I guess. So I had to craft set of 64 solar panels for each tier in order to get the right amount of amps to continue. And that took a lot of hours of planning and a lot of hours of resource gathering and batch crafting. Diesel, that's fine. I mean, I heard people can actually use steam up to HV, for example, you know. I only now switched to benzene here, and I feel like that's gonna lead me somewhere, because it's very cool to have benzene. Now I have 7,000. It's like dipping a little for some reason. Yeah. Actually, what about Larvae? Is he still around? Like, I'm gonna make vac nukes soonish. Yeah. Larvae's around. Okay, good. Kind of miss that guy a little. We had a lot of great talks together here. Okay. Does he stream because did he move on from his monstrosity of a base that had like a lot of wires and what do you call that? Correct me if I'm wrong. Logistic pipe system, which was like the early AE2 version of storage, automated storage. I'm just interested whether he moved on from that into a more advanced tier, because his system is really smooth, and I was like thinking, I'm thinking like he should probably consider. He was streaming Final Fantasy. Oh, a different game. Okay. Well, I'm glad he's around. Maybe he'll pop by and talk to me about stuff. Other than that, I also remember Precarious, if you're friends with him or anything. I also remember Solaris. Yes, of course, he's here. Thank you for coming. Who else was around? And there are a lot of dudes I don't remember the nicknames of, but if I see them, I'll know they were my dudes. Oh, I hear Patch. I have to pray that this is the one I... yeah, and I got the Soul Vial. It was interesting when I was reviewing the options in classic Minecraft that, Greg Tech, that Nadziska has, is it the right nickname, has really hit GOG pretty hard. He's EV on his GOG. He's doing Twist as well. Twist and a GOG run? I gotta tell him he's nuts. Well, I heard a lot of things about Kevlar CDN. Kevlar, hi. I'm sorry if you are not the first time viewer, but I gotta tell you the grind goes well. I've only started after a month-long break. I'm doing good. Yeah, and I heard things about Twist. I heard that it's kind of like simplification of simplification of certain things. Like there's a machine in Twist that I believe can actually store solar panels inside it, and you know, generate electricity, almost like there used to be a processing array or something. Yeah, I've seen those machines. I've seen the blueprints of them. I think some of them might be as big or even bigger than the Forge of Gods or whatever you call this thing. This purple huge rings flying around. I did build one, but people usually build those things like in a vertical directions. You know, like it's standing and the sun is spinning like on a stick. But I built it in a in a horizontal way because I couldn't fit it in my skyblock world. Twist isn't easier. Well, I heard opinions like it makes some things trivial. Like you can spend a lot of resources on building a machine that actually achieves a lot more than the usual multi-blocks can do. But there's a hurdle, which is accumulating all those materials in order to build that. That you may be considering harder, and I won't actually argue with that. Like, if somebody told me that I need to collect 10,000 steel in order to build a machine that would produce 1 steel per second, would you consider that cheating? Because that's how I view Twist. It just enables things that have previously not, you know, that were previously weren't available. Yes, and yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's balanced around itself. So that's kind of interaction now. It's interesting to see, especially in a GOG run, where certain Twist machines might actually, you know, make things easier or harder. Like, does it really kind of makes things easier when it comes to gathering 9 green sapphires for the HV? Because you need to recycle a lot of things, like 2 million. Yeah, then it's okay. But considering late game, yeah, but who didn't? I'm started that with one recycler, but I'm planning on, you know, doing a lot more recyclers, like a huge array of them, maybe not like 64 of them if I can get that going with the benzene I got. Yeah, and that was probably gonna take me weeks. And considering not Zizka, since he streamed GOG, which not many people do, now Axie does that. And Axie, would love to ask you that question as well. Are you guys going to actually leave your game overnight off stream in order to accumulate enough resources, or are you only gonna play and show everything and then close the game when it's not being streamed? And like, so how do you treat that kind of interaction? Because I decided that I'm not going to be you play in servers, so it leaves overnight and everything. Because I'm playing in single player. Yeah. And that might have been a very stupid decision, so I told people that once I hit some kind of like huge milestone, when it like EV or something, when you get stainless steel and even titanium, I think, that I will be probably leaving my game overnight, just the game, not the server. I don't have the server, I don't know how to set it up or anything. And when I come back, I would turn on the stream, and people would see that this is how much I've accumulated. And I'm always afraid that people would think that I, this crazy, not the crazy, but this stupid saying, like, of any Minecraft YouTuber, that they say, like, look guys, I mined off stream, and they show, like, 64 diamond blocks or something. But when last time they were streaming or making a YouTube video, they only had, like, 1 diamond. So you kind of question the legitimacy of that, of those 64 diamond blocks. Same thing here. I don't know how to prove that while running overnight, my machines actually generated this many resources, you know. I can't have a way to prove that. But I think it would be visible, like, if I left an ABF running overnight, it would probably accumulate about 300 or 400 aluminum, considering the time frame. The idle time is too valuable, yes. And believe it or not, up to the... I started leaving my game overnight when I was playing my last run. Somewhere about UV, I think. That's where I started to actually, have like legitimate... have proper enough automation that I could leave things overnight without being afraid that something might break or energy might run low. I plan on start doing that here earlier. And yeah, I understand. But I would leave my game overnight for like 3 out of 7 days of the week, because I kind of have like bed in the same room and I just don't want to sleep next to a whirling fan, you know. It's not loud, but it's still noticeable, you know. So if I know, like, for the next milestone I need to craft 2,000 Ruridit ingots, which is like pre-fusion, you actually need to, like, 2 or 4,000 for a quest, I don't remember. This I would leave overnight. I would make sure that I got this thing set up properly. Or I might as well, like, for example, I don't want to stream, but there are a few days where I don't stream. I would want my game to run over that time. So when next time I come back, I have this many resources. Like, but this kind of like defeats the purpose, you know? Doesn't it for you, Axie? Like with your all time on stream? Like, how do you prove your legitimacy to the viewers? Do you have that kind of struggle, or is it easier for you to just not care that you didn't get something properly generated within that time frame? Because you, who knows, maybe you won't stream every day. I can't really in this world. You say your server is set up in such a way that it doesn't allow you to cheat? Okay, so it's just a world where you guys meet, play, and sometimes you turn on your stream. I understand. I understand. Well, I don't know what I have here, really. Like, I'm in the middle of something. I don't know how to treat that whole thing. Whether I'm gonna continue playing only on stream and waiting only on stream, or I'll branch out into like playing offline. You know, it would be very stupid if I would stream once a week and every time it's a new tier or something. People would question that for sure. And I would need to make recaps every time I stream again to say what I did and what I didn't do, what happened. Polyvinyl chloride. PVC sheets. The 8-volt solar panel needs an MV assembler, which I already have. 2 of these solar panels and 2 MV circuits. I can't tell you that. Can't tell you anything. I know that for a viewer, uncertainty is the killer of mood. But I told you already that I started playing like a new run of Greg Tech New Horizons, just the usual one. Yeah. And then I realized, as I've reached this exact MV tier, I realized that I have more connection with this world in this exact tier. So I kind of came back, set this thing up again, which was quite a big deal for me, because I was figuring out the options and configs and everything. But I'm back, and I have some plans. I will see how it goes. Maybe the gathering of 9 green sapphires will kill me. Will kill the vibe and everything, and I will just, deflate again. I wouldn't say I really deflated. I kind of like went on a holiday, and I wasn't available for about 20 days anyway. So I should have came back like 2 weeks ago, like when I should have actually turned on the stream. Yeah, I wouldn't say that early game is calling me. The late game is calling me because I still miss huge multi-blocks and everything, but I just know that I'm afraid of meteors. I'm afraid of green sapphire gathering. I'm afraid of researching the god awful Thaumcraft again because this is the worst thing ever. Researching the, you know, the scrolls. I can't. I can't. Look at that. I can't. I can't. I know there's like an auto researcher that you get in HV or something, maybe EV. Yeah, Solarius, I gotta tell you that you should just continue to push through. EV is high enough to start feeling the call of late game. It's when you realize that your base speeds up a ton, and you get a lot of new things, like a lot. What EV is like the second tier of space. It's when you get titanium. It's when you get your first flatline business, right? It's when you can feel like you're being, you know, you're being mistreated from behind, but that's okay. That's fine because you need to overpower that this little branch right here. Oh, actually, I'm seeing stupid stuff. Yeah, the starter bloodline is here, but the main thing starts in IV. This little guy over here and this little one over here. This is the end of the childish playground that Cryptek New Horizons early game is. This is the beginning of what we call trial by fire, right? Somewhere around here, you will think that I'm either continuing that or I'm running the away, you know, like literally running away from this, because there is not a third option. When I started that, I mistreated this branch of flatline refining platinum. I stupidly said to myself that I just need to make these quests light up green like these are. You know, I just kind of like, okay, what's now? Like platinum, potassium, disulfide dust. Let's go do it. Then like platinum residue dust. Let's go. I ran literally only the required amount of things to complete the quests, but the main thing in here that doesn't kill you at this stage, which almost killed me, is that you have to make sure that every step that you follow is automated immediately and right off the bat. You know, you don't have to like complete the quest by just gathering 78 of molten potassium disulfide cell. No, you need to freaking set up the goddamn multi-block chemical reactor with all the wiring, with all the energy that can that you can sustain that when it's running. And I gotta tell you, you don't need a lot of energy because these things don't run every time. Some of them are quickly done and then they rest for some time. The final product is of osmium, for example. It runs like every 3 minutes if you have like the 1-to-1 ratio on every material here. It's like a very like resource compact kind of like process. So I'm just giving you advice. If you really want to go further, you need to treat this seriously, not like I did, because I am a stupid bastard to just try to push through that, completing the quests. That's not the point of the quest book, is not to make things light up. It's what you can do in a tier 0 Stone Age when you get the digger's backpack and you go like, woohoo, I got a backpack, I can put things in there. Yeah, that's a green for you. You did it. But starting from tier, even EV, the first flatline things, you don't just complete the quests. You have to automate them, make a line out of them. I rebuilt Flatline for about 6 times. I made different designs. One design was the stupidest design ever, is to place everything in one chunk. I realized that like, okay, this time I'm gonna do things differently. I want to build like a Flatline tower. And I started building this huge tower out of Vena blocks. These guys, yeah, the this one and that one. And it was high as hell. It had 5 floors with elevators that you get from open block stars, I remember. And every floor would be its own material, up to osmium and one thing I realized that it lagged the hell out of my game because it was all in one chunk, and the worst thing that I wasn't able to use the input and output of different liquids. I thought that the only way to input and output liquids was to get the export buses. That's what they call them, right? Export and import buses. Yeah, and these things lag as hell because they tick very fast, and every tick of exporting and importing actually busy is sort of makes your game busy, you know, with all the counting and calculations. So I kind of realized that I stacked too many of those buses on top of each other in one single chunk, and my world just lagged as hell. So then I removed that, and the breakthrough for me was, if I'm not sure you're following Solarius, but I'm just going to tell you that. I'll read your messages later while I'm on a tirade of how I overpowered myself to get out of the situation of those tiers. Is that you have to place an, if I remember correctly, an EMI interface. It has, I'll tell you, it has like a menu inside of it, like a GUI, which can hold, I'm talking about the dual one, which can hold up to 16,000 liters, buckets of any liquid, 6 types of them, or 5 types, I don't remember. And you can actually suck things out of that by like placing a pump on import, I guess, or whatever you call this thing. Like, yeah. And so it kind of acts like an import bus, but at the same time, it's a lot less lag heavy, you know? So I don't know if you actually understand what I'm talking about. Have you already reached AE2? Because that's going to be a huge help if you do at that exact tier of EV. Because I don't know, I've read a lot of things on Discord trying to find a good way to save FPS because my PC wasn't good at the time. And I learned that people actually use ME interfaces with pumps. Or even better, if you move things between machines, use P2P connections. These dudes. You have to have like some kind of like creative thinking and visualizing things if you want to be able to understand what that is. Because if you're the first time EV player that only started the AE2 journey, you might be very overwhelmed by P2P tunnel system. But it basically acts like a bridge between two hatches or two inventories that have the auto pull and auto push system built in, which you can achieve via conveyors and pumps again, considering that you want to automate every block. Oh yeah, you're using that. So yeah, I then don't need to teach you anything. I guess what I was telling, that if sometimes you have a huge AE2 system that stores a lot of types of liquid, and for example, for your plat line, you need like an input of chlorine, you won't be using P2P to get that from your main base storage, right? You'll be using the IMI interface, the dual one that actually sees the whole system, and then you would place a pump, right? Which would suck in the chlorine, which will put through a filter of sorts, if I remember correctly. And that's how you get your chlorine. You don't get that from getting an import bus, because that is stupid as hell, because that lags up your world. At least it did back in the 2.4-ish version, while I was at EV at that time. So if you experience any kind of lag or anything, just consider not using buses like that at all, like these guys. It's stupid. Besides, they're really well, the item buses are kind of fine. They're not as laggy, but the liquid ones, they were laggy as hell. Okay, so let's read your messages. I'm trying not to restart my... that's a red. Never been past where I am, so it cannot call me. Oh, you should... Ah, yeah, I read that also. I just got flute crafting through my AE2 and made flute craft all the way through AE. It felt good. Yeah, that's the calling that you hear and see and feel. It feels good, and it's gonna feel even better. I don't want to spoil you anything, but can you imagine swimming in millions and billions of chlorine that before you got from salt and everything? he would just suck it from nowhere, called Space Elevator. Can you imagine? There will be liquids like molten iron and molten copper that you get in the same billions just out of open space. And, well, of course, all of that is still kind of. You actually need to build and craft those materials that you send to space with the modules. There's like a. You need to be sending the neutron rods and neutron drill tips and everything. So it's not free, but it's a pinnacle of automation, if I can say so. It's the space elevator. Or when you get your first fusion reactor, you realize that you have harnessed something else, something that wasn't previously available, that's not even available in our world. So basically, by playing past EV and past IV, you get to a point where the sci-fi starts. And that's when you kind of like understand that you are playing something else. Now it's not about following the old village rules of getting your meals cooked and eat and keep your hunger bar full. It's not about the crafting your first titanium to kind of like match the scientific advancements of our world. It's something else, and it's a calling on its own, to see what's beyond what we as human beings haven't yet achieved. Even though that's total sci-fi, something to take with a grain of salt, I still think that's has its own charm, That's what held my interest, is to, kind of like see beyond the things. And of course, I always liked ambition, and I have realized a lot of ambition through this game. It's kind of like a private ambition of when you want to become better, and you kind of see your base grow with you. At one point, I started viewing my base as my own brain, and different sectors of that would be the things I try to work on. I even saw and kind of recognized the messy parts of my brain, like, because I didn't want to, take care of different parts. I would leave my automation unattended, and I would like see that things break apart because I don't clean them or whatever, because they clog up with different materials that I don't need a lot of. So at some point I felt such a close connection to the world I was playing. I was like, okay, this time I'm gonna make it differently. I rebuilt the whole thing, made a new layout of a base where I had like 4 directions. I talked about it, and everything started to look a lot less messy. And I felt the same way in my life, that and I kind of have the same connection to this world right now, the Garden of Grind one. I have some contraptions in here, some ugly things like this old base farm that I had, creeper farm or whatever farm, mob farm. I would probably want to destroy that, because doesn't do anything for me, but I leave it like that. So there are a lot of aspects that I relied on while playing that didn't call me to start a new run, because I knew that, okay, I've already went past that. Even though future frightens me, I still like the fact that my base evolves. And maybe that moves you further as well. Oh my god, will I ever stop talking? So, I needed, okay, I got the rotten flesh, it's a good thing, because I wanted to make dirt. And, yeah, no, but there was a dude before you guys, some girl named Liza, which, based on a nickname, she was probably a bot or a person selling stuff. But she actually talked to me about some stuff, and she called me a yapper. Which I suppose is a talkative person in America, right? In a slightly derogative way. Yeah. I did not feel like it was supposed to. I did not feel like it was supposed to be, yeah, like a super positive compliment, but it is what it is. well, the bad thing is that I don't get things done while I talk. There's only one core of my CPU. It has about 1 hertz or something, and it kind of, what does it do? When a hertz moves, what's that? It's not a movement of a single-threaded processor, yes. And this little single thread is moving like jumping rope like that, kind of, moves like that in circles. And if I talk, I start jumping this thread. Hamster wheel only goes one direction. Yeah, it's not a hamster wheel, it's a jumping rope. This one thread, you can call that my brain, like my one ganglia or whatever hell that is. I'm not really well versed in, in biology or whatever, in anatomy or in medicine. But whenever I'm talking, I'm jumping that rope, and I kind of get tired. And if I don't jump that rope, I employ that in something else. Like whenever I'm building my base or just running around doing tasks, I'm jumping my rope as well. So if I start talking, I kind of like, I cannot jump 2 ropes because I only have 1 thread. And I considered upgrading, but recently I learned that prices on memory skyrocketed so high that because of all the AI and everything, that I will probably just live with my human brain forever, and it's flawed as hell, and it only has 1 thread. Even though I talk about different kind of like functionalities here, like thread frequency and memory RAM, right? Those are different things. Just get Neuralink. Well, I do have Neuralink set up. It's called Dreams. It's like when I sleep, there's some kind of connection I get. Sometimes I even dream of Minecraft. Just get Neuralink. Oh. Or, better yet, since it's a single thread processor, some rich dude just said a few days ago, like, was it Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or somebody else? They talked about that later on, gamers won't be playing games on their own PCs. They'll be just renting the cloud services that allow them to play games remotely on a somewhere stored far away in India PC that they can just use and rent. I'm kind of familiar with that process. There are services in my country where people can store play games on a rented device in a distant way, like online. So maybe I can do the same thing with my brain and get a second or even a third thread, so I can I don't know, chat with people, do stuff, and at the same time, what will be the third thread? I don't know. There's only 2 activities people can do at the same time. I guess the third one is just, will be something like, I don't know, like juggling in front of you or something. And could you imagine playing games with full brain immersion? Isn't it like 5D cinemas, where you sit and there's rain on the screen, and they like have some kind of showers that shower you with water, so you feel the full immersion of process? Is it the same thing? Or like when you feel pain or hunger when your hunger bar starts to flinch like that, like in my game right now? Or so that you make your brain think of only of the game. Well, if you talk about full immersion, I would probably not be able to talk because Steve doesn't talk. He's the dude with pixelated head, and I guess this few pixels couldn't actually make him talk, because you need like a finer details of your mouth in order to be able to move it. This dude has like I don't even know, like a pig's face. It's even like surprised that the Steve can see stuff, because in reality, I don't know. You can't have that big organs that won't have finer containments, finer contents inside them. smaller ones. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, my single thread thinks that I have picked up rotten flesh. Now, I need to press U to see the recipe for dirt, which I was gonna craft like an hour ago. So I have resorted to using leaves instead of saplings. But actually, saplings is also an option because I have a lot of them. As far as I remember, crafting dirt, the biggest problem in crafting dirt was rotten flesh, which I could only get from a farm, which doesn't work right now because I need patches. Actually, I heard patch and I didn't pick it up. I should have picked up a patch because I was starting to talk about a soul vial, and then Axie came in and distracted me with his presence, but I'm only glad that it happened. I'm only glad about that. Because, no, I'm not blaming you. I'm telling you that you, yeah, that you kind of like enlightened me with your presence, and I dropped everything to talk to you and to Solaris as well, because you guys kind of popped at the same time, and it was kind of shocked to me. Because I thought that maybe I was raided, but I wasn't. And you guys are saying that streamers are supposed to talk, but there are plenty of streamers that just stream voiceless, you know, and people watch them. So, because there are actually people that like games more than following a persona. I don't know what's the healthy ratio in here, how much talking and how much of actually playing the game. I need lapis. Okay, I got 7. What now? Okay, 7 bacons. Pieces of bacon, I'm sorry. I can't say plural bacons. I, for some reason, you know the word beacon? I, for some reason, always confuse it with bacon. Like, it has the same image in my head. I know it sounds really stupid. Beacon, bacon, different words totally. Like, it has different meanings. But sometimes words that sound similar do look similar in my head. Okay, now I need sand. There's a thing that I don't like, is that since I'm producing soft stone, I would call it soft. It's not soft. It's, what would you call that? Just stone in a rock breaker instead of cobblestone, because I need to chisel that into those blocks that give you 1 ordo pure aspect for steel Thumbcraft steel duping. I need to commit to one more process of turning that into sand, because you first need to turn that into cobblestone, and that only then to gravel and sand. And that saddens me, I would say. Okay, to hell with it. I am officially upgrading this, oh my god, upgrading this orange box to something more useful, because this is like, I respect myself too much for that to continue happening. All I need is it's like it's the same thing as with piston boots. I was running around my base, jumping on and off things, losing my hunger bar. Well, I could have just crafted piston boots. Why didn't anybody tell me that I could craft piston boots and just, you know, negate the hunger damage by a large margin? Were you guys just kind of like looking at me and thinking like, let the dude suffer or something? Yeah, I already did that. I was like, it happened simply because I started a new run, and I did that right off the bat because I remember how many how much hunger it consumes when you just kind of like run around and jump on things, and it makes you a lot slower. So I crafted that only because I remembered that I did that in a new world. Because before that, I started to go around after like 4 months of not playing Minecraft at all, or 3 months or something. So I didn't remember the early game where I did that because in my previous run I had like infinity armor basically, which makes you creative flight. Use creative flight. So now I remember that, but I'm sad nobody else told me that because you guys are the. I'm sorry to call you a prisoners of early game, but you are, and nobody told me that I could craft piston boots or even more. You probably even have a better thing for me, like some kind of boots from Thaumcraft that I can craft pretty easily in my run, and you're still probably holding on to that, not telling me that I can craft boots of the traveler and run around like with the speed of light. But I'm not seeing. It's kind of easy, but you need infusion for that, and I'm so not ready for infusion, guys. You can't believe that. Let alone the fact that I'm not even I haven't even researched it. Enchanted fabric, easy. Everything's easy, but the infusion itself, because I want to automate that instantly, like from the first second I built it. I know how to automate infusion. Well, I know where to look at the guide that automates infusion. It's like it's written in a very easy language, I guess. It shows everything sort of. It shows how to where to put a wand that it's gonna auto charge and everything. So you have to have like this redstone comparator or something that kind of leads to the top of this thing, and it you know. But you need an IMI system in order to fully automate that, because I remember you had to put buses, the storage buses or something, at the every one of those pedestals, which you might have to have like 20 of. So I won't be able to automate that until I get a reliable storage system, automated storage system, which is not earlier than EV. Oh, Solarius, I envy you that you're already there. We're all about negative vibes here. Envy, gloating. Wanted to say gluttony, but that's a different thing. Okay, one thread move. One thread move. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My one thread can count 5 wrought iron plates, and my one thread brain can think that I also need 1 steel plate, and then 2 pipes that are pink pipes, which means the wrought iron pipes. I have to click T on them to see if I got them, and if I don't, I need to craft more of wrought iron plates. In order to get wrought iron plates, I must what do I do to get that? Since the biggest thing that I don't have in Garden of Grind, who can guess that, is when it comes to wrought iron things or annealed copper, I don't get to play around with arc furnace, because this bad boy, which I think is mandatory for any run except GOG, needs 1 graphite cell, and this dude is only stored in ores, because you can't, I mean, they have to add another bucket recipe because this is super mandatory for like easy wrought iron production, and I don't have any means to get that. Silicon carbide dust. What is that? Oh, it's IV. Maybe there is a way and I'm just like... Quad fuel rod, EV. Burned out tree soul pebble. I'm not even gonna... It's probably nuclear. I know those pebbles and pellets. There's diamond ore, which has 10% chance, but any kind of ore is basically a meteor for me. Yeah? Actually, what do you think? Is there a possibility to get graphite before meteors? I don't think there is. I think I've already researched the options and said no, but I'm kind of trying to browse through things and see if there's a slight chance. Diamond ore. Maybe there's like some kind of lucky some kind of like quest where you can just buy a stack of diamond ore. No, of course not. You wouldn't have that, would you? Some kind of lucky quest that gives you a graphite cell. No, not even close. So, without that, I'm only resorted to buying the raw iron, or, you know, doing the crazy thing like smelting the, what do you call those little things? Not ingots, but nuggets, yeah. I don't want to smelt nuggets, so I'm gonna buy some of that. Oh. And the worst thing that it requires a coin that you can't get from, like, you can't renewably get that. You need to first break that down. And I think I should probably find new ways of making... Pico, hi. You're another person I know. Hi, how are you, man? I was absent for a month or so I'm just kind of came back. Yeah. Not much happened. I didn't play the game. So kind of came back from the last episode. Jumped straight into it and trying to... Well, I didn't do anything this episode. Haven't done anything because I was talking most of the time to the viewers that popped by to see me. So how are you, Pico? Everything's good? How's life? How's your gaming career? Did you finish Minecraft? Did you get close to finishing it? I mean, Greg Tech. So, I guess I have to just bear with it and simply... Can I increase my voice? I didn't decrease it. It's usual. Guys, should I? I mean, it's full in my OBS. Very quiet to you. I didn't change any settings from last time. I could try to do that. Wait a second. No, it's... Yeah, I'm a bit quiet. Yeah, I'll try to think of a way to make that... To do something like... you should have told me before, guys, because I'm only now learning that I'm actually very... Wait, how do I do that? Properties. Oh, space elevator. Good job, man. Good job. That's a good thing. I've been talking about a space elevator like 20 minutes ago, I think. Yeah, it realizes the game a bit, but opens up new possibilities for you as well. I can't change the... I know there's like a thing in OBS where you just get like a mixer track where you can, go beyond 0 dB to increase your voice. I'm not seeing that anymore, even though I didn't do anything to the OBS as well. I didn't even update that when they asked me to. Oh, here I got this. Okay, I'm going to increase that by about 2 dBs to start with. Does that sound better now? Because I'm reaching the yellow line when it's almost like acceptable voice volume. If it needs more, you can just tell me, guys, okay? Because, I don't know, for some reason it became quieter, but nothing changed. Well, I guess I'll have to deal with that later. Guys, just promise me if I ever have any kind of like technical troubles, you just problems, you just say that outright, because otherwise I'm like in total blur with this. I don't know how I sound and what I sound like. I don't want to learn that by the end of the 3-hour stream people couldn't hear me, or they were experiencing difficulties turning their local volume up to hear me, because that would be very uncomfortable for some people. And as a streamer, I must make sure that you don't experience uncomfortability when it comes to watching me. Space Elevator is actually, what do they say these days? Like rad, right? It's actually rad. Have you already seen those glorious settings where you can just suck up iron in liquid form from Space Elevator? I think that's like hilarious. Or the copper, or the even lead they added later on. Before a recent patch, you didn't have lead in there as a material, and I liked this edition because it allowed easier stamping, easier crafting of compressed solar panels, because the first tier of those panels require the ULV machine casing, which required lead. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe not that, but the lead wires. And you not need that in a very high quantity, So adding liquid lead to Space Elevator actually trivialized that question for a lot of people that play solar panels runs, and many other things that you can get from there, including deuterium or whatever they're called, and tritium, which makes up helium plasma for your fusion reactors. And we're not even talking about ores. So I, with my one-threaded brain, wanted to make some wrought iron ingots. This was supposed to be a pretty easy and quick task. First, I need to break down my iron ingots into... Well, maybe there's a way to cook that in an ABF or something. Wrought iron ingot. I need to know how I get this done if I don't have the arc furnace. No, not the EBF way. Like through nuggets, the only way. Crazy. Okay, nuggets it is. I break it down into nuggets by using my what do we call this thing? Steam fuser. And then after having this broke down, I will collect the iron nuggets and fry them into the wrought iron nuggets. Very disgusting process. Actually, why aren't you outputting things into a chest? What the hell is that? This is an output and it doesn't do that. Hello? Hello? What am I doing wrong? Why is there no output? It should push things out. Look guys, I broke stuff. I was able to rotate the chest in a way that it kind of clips into the bronze plated bricks, a part of the steam fuser multi-block. It doesn't output not enough. Yeah. Like, what's more WTF? This fact that it doesn't output the things into a chest, or the fact that I can rotate my chest in a way that it clips with a multi-block? Either way, yeah, Output bus steam. It's a bus, not a hatch, which means it's for items. Items are here, not outputting. Yeah, I'm literally not having space elevator in this run if that continues to happen. Is it because of an update? Maybe the steam output steam deprecated or something. Maybe it's not even a block anymore. Item output for steam multi-blocks does not automatic. Oh, does not automatically export items. Since it's Steam one, I could have probably used like a normal output bus. It wouldn't. It would just require me to get the disgusting. Oh no, it's a chest craft. You need a chest and an LV hull, right? Like just to get this one. Or maybe I instead go with craft another. No, I would probably go with yeah. I'll go with an LV version of an output bus. All I need is some steel plates in the amount of 9 plus 2 raw iron plates. 2. Yeah, it's super easy. It's not a hatch. It's a, what do you call that? Machine. Start with the machine casing. Okay, and then move on to the machine hull. And then we need some glue, which I think 10 millibuckets. Nice. Where do I store my glue? Oh, here in a very nice tank. I even have some polyethylene. And another thing I've got, which I'm really proud of, considering the revisiting of my base, is the 4 medium lithium battery. And is this all the batteries I got? Yeah, because this is a straight up just straight up usage of that, and only then I have a battery just to collect the amps again. Somebody told me, like, I read a quest book and it said like it again refreshed my mind when it comes to knowing and understanding GT energy system. It said that even the battery buffer block itself eats a one voltage, or not one. It has like a formula where for every battery slot that is occupied, you get like minus something in energy wise. And so basically, I was thinking, like, if you need to have the same amount of energy collected in a place before you put your wires into the LV hatches, because you don't want to have loss in here, right? You wouldn't just stretch your cable like that and then get this done, unless you're using redstone alloy cable for lossless transition. You would want to collect all your amps, kind of like make them full again. That's how I thought it would be, right? Because these batteries would output again the full healthy amp of energy, right? But then there's this thing when they talk about formulas, that when your batteries are inside the battery buffers, they kind of like, they have cuts and little shortages of energy from them. So it's never, for example, I have 4 medium lithium batteries, and it's never the a full HV amp, right? As it should be. It's a little less than that, because the amount of the exact 4 amps that have traveled through the wire, they lost some over time, and they didn't recuperate when it kind of like achieved these batteries. So I don't understand how this works, because in my understanding, all the energy, even with all the losses, that travels through this annealed copper wire, which has loss meter ampere 1 volt, it should reach and get the full amount of amps. Just maybe, yeah, I understand that it has loss, but in my understanding, if you give some time, like some kind of time shift for both of these sides of the system, like for example, if you give that 10 seconds to give the energy and that spends it in 11 seconds, then you get the full amps. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Like if you talk about like full use of all the amps in here, of course you're gonna get your EBF turned off pretty quickly, because this isn't a full 4 amp coming in here. But since I'm using only 4 amps of LV, which is just one medium lithium battery, it's always going to be full, because the production exceeds consumption, right? But if I were to get the new hatches, the MV ones, this will die, because I'm not outputting the full 4 amps of that. Even if I would, there would be loss in here and loss in the cable. So I don't know what the hell I just talked about. I try to put my thoughts into words. Whatever. So the thing is that I kind of like, I think I don't understand how it works still. There's like some kind of ether, I don't know what to explain that, like some kind of abstract visions that I have when it comes to energy in this game. And I think there are misconceptions that I'm not aware of, that I'm actually, well, I'm basing my knowledge on those misconceptions. But this thing is lit and it works, which means I do know stuff, right? Because if there is a hole in the ground, it's a totally different conversation. But there isn't one. And I've played up until freaking the UMV. What the hell am I talking about? I should be like saying that I know everything. Otherwise, I'm not even... I shouldn't even say that I was that high up at one time in my life, since I'm not even understanding the basics of the game. Okay, so we get the glue. We need to get a chest, which we do have. And just since it's an output, we reprogram that into a circuit number 2. Right. Soon I'll be able to craft wrought iron ingots and all that comes later. So the only task I'll be able to actually achieve today is to have a huge field of oak, well, birch, whatever that is, spruce saplings that give energy to, give wood to this perilous oven, because it should constantly run, and I can already see that there isn't like a storage of that wood. It says 0, which means that consumption exceeds production. There shouldn't be any kind of like stalling of this machine. Okay, got the output bus. What if I cannot use output buses of higher than steam tiers? Because it's a steam machine. Please tell me that I can use any kind of buses. It says incomplete structure, what the hell? Oh, that was painful. It was grating to my ears and to my eyes. Okay. No auto output means I need to get freaking steam separator is the only one that I can use higher tiers. Like it's some kind of like a, why is there an exception like that? Is this a thing they just overlooked, or is this like some kind of super high logical moment of where you would need that? Okay, I will probably keep that in mind. But since now I'm holding a grudge against this machine. I know it's not personified or whatever. Yeah, I already see that. So I need a... I need another conveyor belt. And I don't have rubber for that. So many unpleasant things at once. Where do I start? To get rubber, I would need rubber dust and sulfur. I do have these guys, so getting rubber won't be a hard task. Just throw both these in and wait for black liquid to come. Oh, I got the molten rubber cell anyway, so all I need is there should be a machine that fluid solidifier. Where is it? No fluid solidifier. What is this? I have that. Oh, here it is. And I need a mold that does, I guess that does ingots. So I can turn some of that into rubber. And Pico, I forgot, your space elevator on a just GTNH run, or you're talking about Garden of Grind? Because as far as I remember, you're the one that taught me the most about Garden of Grind at one point. Garden of Grind, yeah, wow. So please don't spoil the stuff for me, but I am sincerely in awe from you. From your ability to persist and with minimal quest book, yeah, I understand. I wouldn't say my quest book is minimal. I do coins, you know, but quest book I don't use the loot bags unless garden ones, you know, and the ones that actually gate the progression. I don't know if that is considered no quest book or minimal quest book. I guess coins also count. Oh yeah, I also. Well, yeah, the rest of the conversation is something we've already discussed like 1,000 times. Like what can we do? What can't we do? At the beginning of the stream, I was like revisiting some of the parts of my stream where I would just straight up red wrench items in, but that would be justified somehow. So I was like going over that again, trying to save my run, the legitimacy of that. Because since I kind of came back, at least for now, I feel like if I continue that, I need to know that people will actually call this a run one day, like a legit run. I would just probably need to post rules that I'm playing by, so that people would know that I don't go over that, even if I wanted to. But that's something for later. Now I don't even know what rules I'm gonna break again. Because when I started, I kind of like thought to myself, okay, hard mode and everything like it used to be, like it should be. But then after some time, as I said, I was toggling on and off the peaceful mode to clear up the mess that I made in my base, if that led to a backup. Because so I'm basically using some cheesing to not to back up too often, because, well, achieving the same result. I make more volcanoes for neutronium. Yeah, I'll tell you a thing about volcanoes. Old volcanuses. they're not good. People can fight me about that, but I will die on my hill trying to explain to you why Mega EBF is a lot better. You're probably thinking like, okay, there's like this cryothium or pyrothium or whatever thing you have to, get to make those work, and you can actually parallel them better than you would do a EBF, right? MEBF, because you can build a second one. But I believe that EBF, considering all the amount of amps it can get, it will give you a lot more parallels, right? And it's more like it was more centralized for me. So I started with volcanoes. Yes, I understand. I started with volcanoes. I built 4 of them, if I remember correctly. But over some time, after I crafted all the rubricated ingots with them, I said like, no, I'm not gonna continue playing that game. Looking at my volcanoes working 24/7, waiting for that. I remember it even had like, it could do 8 rubricated ingots per craft, and I was like, that's pretty fast. But at the same time, it was really ineffective, and I was struggling to automate those prerequisites, which is like those 2 powders, the blue and the orange one. Actually, it was liquids, I guess. And yeah, and the thing is, when I built Mega, I was like, okay, let's do the same rubricated. I used the same amount of voltage and everything, the same amount of energy, not more, not less. Like, I tried to do a test run of that, and for some reason, I don't know, maybe my math didn't math right, but I liked MEBF a lot more, even when it came to crafting those rubricated ingots. For some reason, I was like, wow, this is that fast? Like, I'm staying on an MEBF. And ever since, my volcanoes went straight into a chest, and I've never even picked them up again. They were just there for the rest of the game until I probably even voided them. So this was my resolution, and for some reason, in this run, if I continue playing, once I get the MEBF, I promise to everybody that I won't build a single volcanoes, because that is not a thing for me. Yeah, the problem with the MEBF... oh, maybe that netherite line right now is the reason of why I will probably break my promise. Because I just now realized that we'll have to make all the coils for the new tier of MEBF. And volcanoes... actually, the thing with volcanoes is, as far as I remember, you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, is that it doesn't skip tiers, right? If you put 2 hatches, it doesn't smelt the new tier of items, right? It's this, for example, you are on what? LUV, for example, right? It skips. But only 1 max. Yeah, the thing is that I wanted to speed it up even more, so I would like try to put like 4 hatches in there, but there was like some kind of thing that it requires a minimum amount of those casings, that have these robot arms in them. I even remember those were probably Ivy robot arms. They were white at the time. I don't know. I'm kind of puzzled that you're still using the freaking volcanoes since you're in UIV. It's like, well, actually, you're not in UIV, right? Or are you? Because the energy tier that you collect with all the amps can be a lot bigger than the actual tier you're at. UV, right? Yeah. So UIV would be UHV, UEV, UIV, 3 tiers up. Well, it's okay. Even in UHV, I would reach max on my MEBF, and it was fine. Like, max is max plus, stuff like that. When it becomes white color. Electric motor. Okay. Man, I yearn to play that tier again, all the late game. But volcanoes is I say the bad words, I know. But the thing is that I haven't checked the netherite line yet because I haven't gotten around that. Maybe it will make me go that trodden path again of resorting to volcanosis because I can get the amount of this huge amount of coils. What do you need? Like, let me remember. Was it like 864 coils for an MEBF? Is that the right amount? Or maybe I'm remembering correctly. Oh, for some reason I remember 864 coils for an MEBF. I think I'm wrong. Let me check that. Genius. I guessed it correctly. I remember that painful number. I remember the whole thing. Wow. I'm playing UV in my head right now while wallowing in dirt with electric motor LV and not being able to craft the freaking conveyor belt. Because I don't remember the recipe. I do remember the recipe actually. But it's like that. Plus, I need to smash those in a bending machine. They're being smashed pretty fast. I wouldn't want to smash the entire stack of them, so I'll leave some here. Then I'll get back to that, and I guess it needs a wire. A 10 cable one. Yes. So now I got the conveyor module, I can safely and easily output the expert into a chest, which I again rotated in a weird way. Why does it output things so fast? If it says one stack every 20 seconds, just spat out my iron nuggets in like a span of 5 seconds. Why is that happening? Is it because since output bus Steam cannot output things on its own, once it sees that there is a cover on it that's able to output things, it starts to output it with the same ratio as as an LV output bus would do. That is incomprehensible for me. But nonetheless, I've already gotten 4 stacks of iron nuggets. I can't even talk about iron nuggets anymore. Like, I literally feel like I'm in a higher tier mentally right now. I'm so far beyond all this dirt that I so want to get out of. I can't talk about nuggets. It's like you're a king of some country and you eat omars and whatever fancy food these people eat, and one day you go to a like KFC and you order nuggets. It's literally the same thing for me. I don't want to eat nuggets. I want to eat like cosmic exotic matter or those what's it called, like 4 types of not plasma, but 4 types of catalyst. The resplendent, there was crude, the first one, then there was a cool word, I don't remember. Resplendent is the 4th one. There also was like the next one is the exotic, the last one. Resplendent. Forgot the word. But anyway, we're with nuggets now, stuck with them. We need to fry them in a blast furnace, which is a very slow process. It needs a lot of I guess charcoal usage isn't based on the volume of an item you smelting. Like iron nugget is a lot smaller than the ingot, but it uses the same amount of burning value or whatever, and which is a bummer when it comes to production of wrought iron plates. So I should probably automate that, but I won't automate that. And I need to hide that item subsets thing. It drives me crazy. I think there should be search widget. Subsets widget. Visibility disabled. Thank God I did that. Okay, almost 300 aluminum ingots is a wealth for me. Okay, also... This is measly amount. So I said I was gonna... craft... What did I want to craft? I needed a iron plate for what? For the upgrading of Steamforge Hammer, which was like a sidetracked quest, because I could not do that. I shouldn't have done that, and I would have been able to already fill the whole field with farmland. But I decided that since pressing stones into cobblestones and into sand to get more dirt is a valuable and important process, I decided to upgrade my Steamforge Hammer, and there my half an hour went. Because I always like to sidetrack, get the talking going, that's where I forget to do things, and now I suffer. Okay, right now I'm gonna switch nuggets to a switch molds to get the nuggets done into ingots. Hopefully that'll do. That'll be enough. So I needed 5 to surround that. 6 more to. Yeah, I need 2 more. It's. Can I get that faster? Pico, how, what's the deal with wrought iron? Is this always gonna be that stupidly hard to get that, considering that we can't get graphite until meteors to craft the arc furnace? Is it always gonna be the nugget story with it? Because this is like kills me. I used to buy things with coins, including the iron plates. I mean ingots. Yeah, it's not a thing I like. I'm not a fan of that. Batchcraft. I would batchcraft, but there's like a blast furnace that, well, I mean the furnace that barely spits out the wrought iron nuggets. Batchcraft. Soon I'll call that bitchcraft. You see, I can do batchcraft. You see, I got like almost 4 stacks of glass tubes. I understand, yeah, since those casings are bronze, right? Wait, what did I just type in? Aluminum. Oh, wait, MV casing. It's just that, and then you go with no wrought iron plate as well. So you still need those. Not a lot, but still need. All right. We go and craft small iron flute pipe. Then we go and craft second tier forge hammer. Done. What? Shoot. Okay, now it's black. And it works better. I shouldn't have said that. It was bronze, now it's steel. Steel made now, and now that's why it works better. Because it's high pressure steam forge hammer. It yeah, should do, and it needs to vent steam. Probably like that. Shouldn't stay in front of it because it's gonna burn me alive. Okay, I'm gonna pass a stack of gravel just to get to sand faster. Okay. We can probably start the process of crafting this 30 to dirt. 30 to dirt equals... Wait a second. What's the recipe for garden soil? Why didn't it show? Oh, because I used the wrong. So it still needs sand in the same proportion, so we are not spending the second stack of sand. Get Oh, I had almost 4 stacks of sand. That is a... What? That was not good. Okay, now I'm going to get that. Actually, I realized I can store things in these 2 slots. So I just switch fast between the glue, for example, redstone, molten redstone, and other things. And I'm going to put this and this into this, and then use that like that. Well, probably one of the liquids I'll be storing here would be seed oil, because the amount is slowly decreasing when you craft something with it, and you need to store it somewhere and use it. And I'll be using it quite often, I would say. Some crops. I think I should go pick up more crops. I do have a few stacks here. Although Although I think that my last wish before I go finish the stream would be to make the field larger. All those wood logs. I also think that finding the right kind of pitch would be a nice way of finishing off this run today. Let me refresh the cells, see if that brings our guest, which we are longing for. Let's go pick up the rest of the saplings we've found along the way. I mean, we've not found, but farmed. Automatically farmed. I gotta note that. Then widen that up at least by one circle, I would say. Because this thing, as far as I remember, can work on 11 by 11 fields. And that's more than I have now. I guess I don't need the full 3-storied farm for that demand of wood. What I have now is almost enough if I fill up the upper area as well. So we'll see. Also, I read about some magic dirt in the Thaumcraft tab. It says that if you stack it up a few times, it kind of like the crops grow better on that, but I believe it's not really a thing for IC2 crop sticks. I'm really proud that I'm powering my LV Corp Manager with a 1-volt solar panel. So far it has worked. And I believe it should work the whole way. Unless the amount of things I have I try to grow exceeds the amount of cycles this machine can do on a 1-volt range of energy before it kind of dies because it needs to harvest more things, and it can't because there's no energy. 1 volt didn't give enough. I think I shouldn't go that deep into detail of how it's not gonna work. Yeah, it's simply a good idea because I hate the setups with freaking solar boiler, because it needs like pipes and everything to pipe in the water, to pipe out the steam or whatever, you know. It's a lot of, yeah, and it's relatively cheap when you have infrastructure, when you have the means to make that possible, which is certain MV machines like forming press to get those plates, special plates for solar panels. But I still don't know, Pico, whether these panels actually need cleaning, because it says so on a tooltip that you need to clean those panels with a water bucket, and that only the later tiers of solar panels from Greg Tech mod actually don't need cleaning. The block version of panels, because they come with their own robot arm in the craft. So I still don't know whether you need to clean them and how often you need to do that. That is like a question to me. And I was like testing it, and it kind of works. So I'll see whether this a little enlargement of the fields will actually make this thing suffer, not get enough energy. But that is very, very, very cheap. time-wise. I wouldn't say resource-wise, but time-wise for sure. Also, I should probably descale my advanced solar boilers, because these guys are already choking up on a third of their output, which I shouldn't allow if I want to keep my mega iron tank full at all times. I should not forget about things like that. Okay, I would add a third row, but it wouldn't be the full circle because I don't have enough of things. How do I do this in like why so small area? Because I don't feel like I need the whole area, first of all, and the second of all, I'm kind of short on. Yeah, I know those fields further up my base. These three fields. One is an aluminum field with it's fully enclosed, and the other two are the experience fields. And these guys are full size, 11 by 11. I've already worked with it. I know it can reach 11 by 11, and it can have three stories, if not more. Because I just heard that you can do more if you somehow smartly stack those. But I don't do this much because, first of all, I don't have enough garden soil. Second of all, I don't think I need this much for just one coke pearless oven. I think it's more than enough what I have now to for that to constantly work. And I don't need much wood anyway, because I don't actually build with it. If I decide to get MV energy hatches for my pearless oven or better coils, the speed of wood tar production will increase. Then I will probably add more rings to this field. Right now it's what? 7 by 7, excluding the top layer that is like 5 by 5, I guess. Yes, it's 5 by 5. Okay. Also, Pico, what do you think about moving to P dimension, personal dimension? Do you think it's a cheating idea to do that in this run? Just, I know that you can get that by quest because you don't have dungeons or anything to get the key and everything to complete the quest. But what if I just would cheat P dimension, personal dimension, when I reach that level of advancements? What do you think? Yeah. I know there's a quest. I used to get that. I did get that one time. There's a quest in a rocket space race tab. It kind of you can get either like what, I don't remember, like 16 treasure bags or something, or a PDM. 10 bags, 10 abandoned crates. So yeah, if I want that, I'll probably need to make like a rocket and make it like as if I flew there and fought the boss. Which process would replicate that? I guess finding enough resources for a rocket, right? And actually crafting it. I don't know about crafting though, it's just waste of time because I can fly rockets. But yeah. A moon dungeon brick.